Alright, so next part. We got our A license for time, but we actually kind of blazed through that, so we are going to get out of civilization mode and go to arcade mode because we haven't done arcade mode in a while. We have to grind another area. Area B. So, going back to single race, back to hard mode. We got 6 more tracks to cover. Yeah, 6 more tracks. We actually start with the rally track, Smoky Mountain 2. Look at that, there's an Escudo against an Evo 6 rally car on that. That's totally fair. Totally fair, GT. And yeah, now we have access to some garage cars. We actually have one rally car that we can use, which is the Evo 6. But I'm not going to do that because you already get one in arcade. Now, I think... what car should I use? There's literally just one front-wheel drive rally car that I can do. Yeah, we drove the 2 Imprezas last time. Let's drive the Evo 7. Yeah, retro games. We're playing retro games. I don't miss Asphalt 9. I enjoyed the memories that it had, but it's time to move on at some point. Gran Turismo OnlyFans. What would that look like? Oh, traction. So, Evo 7 versus Impreza 01. These were the future of WRC. Not anymore. But I used to fantasize about these 2 specific cars, the rally car prototypes, Evo 7 and the Impreza. Because, like, dude, it's like red and blue, Impreza versus Lancer. The dominant forces of rally. Not really in real life, but you know, probably one of the most recognizable rivalries in racing. But I think the Lancer Evo 7's rally kart never ended up looking like this. The Impreza's looked pretty similar to what it does in this game, but I believe the Lancer never ended up like this. This was based on the Evo 6's design, which was real. Pepsi 24. Asphalt 9 is boring. Yeah, that's kind of why I stopped playing. Because I didn't, I don't know. I found it way too repetitive, and I kind of snooped into, kind of see what was going on. I had to bounce clubs. Whoa, that's a big lift. Big lift. And that's a wall bonk. I snooped in to switch to the Legions United in an active club. Kind of peeked around what's going on. It's still Grand Prix. Still special events. Still car hunts. Still the same Unleashed. I tried that nitro pollution and just... not a fan. Not a fan. I don't really care about the view count. Most of it's from Asphalt anyway. I kind of treat this as like starting over from scratch. And let me tell you, if I post an Asphalt video, people will watch it. But let's be real, my viewer count was declining. Other big lift. Looks like you have to brake right before. Big spin. My view count was declining. Even this year in Asphalt. You know, my streams only got a few thousand views, whereas in Asphalt 8, I'd be breaking the 10,000 view count barrier on both videos and streams pretty often. And yeah, there were times in Asphalt where I had hundreds of viewers at a time, but that was only when I was like opening packs or something, or I was close to Legend League or beating 1v1. But let's be real, it's so fatigued. The pack openings and grinding the same seasons and the same cars, the same opponents. Just doesn't hit the same anymore. Forza Horizon 5 versus Test Drive Solar Crown. Now, someone had brought it up asking if it's going to be better, and that it's not a game to be compared with each other. But I disagree because social media and critics are going to be comparing the two games. TDU Solar Crown, I think, is just naturally at a disadvantage because it's not a Microsoft Studio game. Let's be real. The main publishers and journalists and most of the people are going to be pushing the Forza Horizon 5 because, number one, it's on Game Pass. Number two, it's had 4 Horizon games since TDU2 came out. Most people haven't heard the name Test Drive since the 90s and early 2000s. And I feel the same way. I used to play Test Drive on the PS1 as a little kid. Never played the PS2 games, and then when TDU2 came out, I discovered it in 2011. It was a buy 2 get 1 free sale at GameStop, and I was picking up Little Big Planet 2 with the kid. And I saw the Test Drive game, Test Drive Unlimited 2. I'm like, oh wow, they still make Test Drive games? And I picked it up because it was a sale, and I loved it. I loved it. TDU2 is an awesome game, and I want Solar Crown to kind of relive that magic, because TDU2 did have issues with the handling and cheesy plot and mostly the handling and the economy late game. But with what TDU2 has, it's graphics at the time, the car features like rolling down the window, taking down the top, listening to a radio, tuning into the radio, buying a house, walking around your house with furniture. You don't get that. Even in Forza Horizon 4 where they added houses, it was basically just a beauty spot. There was no purpose to them. That was totally a gimmick. 11 seconds to the Impreza. Easy dub. I think Horizon 5 is going to obliterate Test Drive in reviews. Absolutely obliterate it. No question about it. But the thing is, will Test Drive deliver? Ooh, I just slammed my phone into the table. Will Test Drive deliver? That's a question mark, because the developer's track record is not bad. I'm gonna drive S-Class on this one. I'm gonna drive the Castrol NSX. Horizon games are very repetitive once you get through the main races. A lot of it is just like grind a speed trap, grind a drift zone, do this series of boring races with lifeless AI. They call it the drive tires, but I don't know. I got kind of bored of it. Brenton's here. What's up? We're playing Classic. So they put touring cars in this race. I guess because it's arcade, right? Is that a Jaguar XT220 at the front? I think it is. Yes. Yeah, I'm looking forward to Horizon 5 and Test Drive, both games, but Horizon 5, you can bet on Horizon 5 being a good game. All of Forza Horizon 4's issues are like replayability, car sounds, and maybe like late game variety and things to do. But Test Drive Unlimited 2 had that problem too. I think that's just something that open world racing games are tricky with, is how to do replayability. Because part of an open world racing game is exploring the map, doing all the intricacies, and exploring around. Once you do every race, every speed trap, every drift zone, every little challenge, like, then what? You just have an open world that ends up being lifeless. Do double overtake around the outside? You actually work with downforce on these cars. It's crazy. Eliminator is great, yes. It was a nice... I only played it once, but it was a nice spin on the Battle Royale genre for racing. Was 3 really that disliked? I liked 3. I thought it had a great car list and location. I think 4 is basically the same game as 3, just with the better car list. But 4 doesn't have the dodge dart. Horizon 5 I feel like will be very similar to 4. If not basically the same game. Just a different coat of paint, different location. There'll be the gimmick like, you know, the volcano. I'm sure it'll be beautiful, but I'm sure it'll be nothing more than just something you drive past and don't think about. Unless you're a game journalist. So, I think Horizon 5 is going to smash it in the reviews, and Solar Crown, I'm going to guess it's going to get a 7 out of 10. That is my prediction. Is IGN and pretty much other news outlets will give it somewhere in the range of a 70%. Metacritic, they'll get it somewhere in like the 70% range. Passable, maybe not groundbreaking, like they supposedly say Horizon is. Like, I get it, Horizon's a great game, but I don't know. The first Horizon game had so much magic, and that game was what I never understood was Horizon 1 was underappreciated by journalists and fans at the time. And since Horizon 2 and 3, mostly 3, but since then game journalists have been like, oh, it's what carries the Xbox, and I thought they only say that because it's on the Xbox One, and that's all Xbox has to offer. Horizon 1 came out at the end of the Xbox 360 era when they had, you know, basically like every game on its side. Halo, Gears of War, was Mass Effect exclusive? I don't remember. And nobody really does Gears of War anymore. I just messed up that corner, and here comes the Supra. And then Halo Infinite looks promising, but it hasn't had a smash hit since what was it, Halo 3 or ODST? Which one came out later? I don't remember. But the one before Halo 4. People liked Halo 4. I liked playing split screen with it with my friends, but I never played the campaign. Supposedly it wasn't as well received, and then 5 especially. And Master Chief Collection was apparently a disaster at launch. It's better now, and I actually own it on PC, but alright, Forza's basically been the only series that has played their cards right. But you're starting to see the cracks with like Forza Motorsport. Motorsport 7 got great reviews by critics, but fans had mixed opinions on it. And now the game is kind of dead. And yeah, the game's old, but so is Horizon 4. And Horizon's getting a sequel before the next Motorsport. That's the big thing. Because, yeah, where does Forza go from here? They've kind of made themselves an arcade open world racer, but they still try to do that simcade thing with Motorsport, but people don't like driving slow around on real racetracks as much as they used to. You have to make the cars enjoyable to drive on a racetrack. And yeah, Gran Turismo, especially the classics, I feel like do this simcade perfectly. And Motorsport's getting rebooted, but we don't know many details on what the game's going to be like. How is its career mode? How is the car list? How is the handling? If it's going to be similar to what Motorsport 7 was like, especially on the handling and kind of how you drove your cars around, I don't know how well received it will be. I feel like this game could be make or break for the Motorsport side of Forza. F. I didn't see, but I'm assuming it was spam. Don't get too close to the sun, Icarus. Horizon 6. Yeah, everyone's already talking about Horizon 6, and Horizon 5 barely has, like, exposure other than that first trailer. The thing is, I agree that their best move with Motorsport would be to go like a full sim and compete with like your Assetto Corsa and try to outdo Gran Turismo in terms of handling and physics, but I don't think Forza's market, their player base, would actually like that. I don't think they would actually like a game that's hard to drive. Horizon, or all Forza games, even the Motorsport games, I'd say like as a casual player, they're best known for how easy they are to pick up. Forza games are very user-friendly, newbie-friendly. The handling is easy. There's challenges you can make it, like, but turning off traction control is never a challenge, even on like the 1,000 horsepower cars that you could upgrade. Turning off all the driver aids, with the exception of ABS, but that's pretty much every ABS in racing games is like that. You don't even have to think about it. On a real sim, if you turn off traction control, you have to be really careful with cornering and acceleration and low gears. And even Gran Turismo does that. Don't pass me. Do not pass. Oh my god, that got too close. Imagine if I wasted like 10 minutes of my life just to get pipped by that Supra. He went in a bit too close. It's the other NSX had a bad race. That's weird, but I guess it's arcade mode. It's all rubber banding anyway. Next race. That's 2 out of 6. Kappa, 69. Next up is Grand Valley. This is going to be a long one. I would say A-class. It's time to use A-class, but nah. Corvette or Viper? Let's do Viper. How many GT games are there? If you count the spin-offs, there are 8 mainline games, 7, 8, that depends if you want to count PSP and Tourist Trophy, so there's actually up to 9 mainline games. But let's just say for simplicity's sake there's 7. 7 mainline games, 1 through 6 in sport, and then you got PSP and Tourist Trophy, and then you got the concept games, like Concept 2001, 2002, 4 Prologue, 5 Prologue, and then all the demo discs, the GT Academy versions, the press kit releases, so there's a good mix. But in terms of mainline games, there are 2 for each PlayStation, up through 1 through 3. And then the PS4 only has Gran Turismo Sport. PS5, technically you can backwards compatible Gran Turismo Sport, but then I would have to say PS3 could play all 6 games then, right? So, I don't know. PS5 is only having Gran Turismo 7 for now, but Gran Turismo 7 is actually going to release on the PS4 too. So, I don't know how they're going to handle that. I don't like that move. So also, we're in a Viper, GT car racing prototypes, but it's arcade mode, so it's not that overpowered. Yeah, I played GT Sport last night actually. I still hang around. I just did the Lewis Hamilton time trials recently, and that was a good, fun challenge. Well worth $8. I was waiting for it to go on sale forever, and then I realized, it's probably never going to go on sale. Let's just do it while I'm at home. And yeah. Sport, I don't know. People are divided on it. At launch, it was rough, because it had a low car list, low track list, and it's basically just online. That was all you could really do. And the driving tests. But nowadays, you can get it for like $10, and it's a full game. It's got the GT League, it's still got the license tests and challenges. Sport mode is still active. And the car list is like double what it used to be in 2017. It got a lot of updates. It actually just got updated this week to add a single car, the 2021 Toyota 86, and it's like dirt cheap. So, and this R390 is giving us a hard time. GR86, yes. How many DLCs there are? There's only one paid DLC, but I want to say there's like 20 updates, maybe more. There's a lot of updates for the game that were free. But only one paid DLC, which is the Lewis Hamilton Challenge. It's $8. But yeah, some of the classic GT mechanics, like in-depth story mode and like actually grinding up a license, that is gone from GT Sport. And also the GT League, which serves to be a pseudo career mode. It's got good prize money, so if you want to buy new cars, GT League's a great way to earn money. But there's no prize cars. You get a prize car for doing 26 miles per day. It's called Daily Marathon, which is nice, but you know, there's no like progression in it. It's just a random car. Could be a road car, could be a rally car you already have, could be a $20 million classic car. You never know. Usually you get rally cars and road cars. A lot of duplicates if you play for a while. And then at the end of the license and driving challenges, you do get prize cars. That was at launch, and they did that right. They should have made prize cars for GT League. I don't know why they didn't. I feel like that's one of the few mistakes GT Sport made. Because that takes away all the incentive of playing the challenges. If you have low prize money, why drive? There's two MX-5 challenges, the beginner and the amateur version, but you don't get prize cars. It's just prize money and how tricky the opponents are. So, kilometers, miles. It's like basically driving 10 to 20 minutes. 10 laps at a race is all you need, really. 8 to 10 laps at a track. That's all it takes to get the daily marathon. I think Horizon 5 will be good like Horizon 1. I think it will be much better than Horizon 4, actually. I'm optimistic about that, but Horizon 1 is kind of a completely different game and experience to everything else. Because that one gave you an actual plot, objectives, boss races, which never came back. Motivation. The soundtrack was one of the best in any Forza game. Horizon's definitely taken the approach of get like everything kind of like poppy and appeal to the masses rather than the people who love cars and racing. And it does a great job at getting the public attention. So Horizon 5 I'm sure will continue what Horizon 4 does well. But I don't know. I feel like something like GTA 5 did a great job with post-launch content, but then it has its own issues with its economy. Forza Horizon 1 would be maybe a perfect game if it had a fully open world. That was like one of the few downsides, was because of the limitations of the Xbox 360. You could pretty much only go on the roads. You couldn't like fully explore the map like you could in the Xbox One games. The roads were great though, but that's just a hardware limitation. I feel like if it got remade and they let you drive around the whole map, but kept like the plot and you know, even like keep the 2012 car list. Don't update the car lists. Give us all the DLC. The other thing Horizon 1 had, which was again another Another plague of the Xbox 360 era was all the paid DLC. And actually, Horizon is still guilty of that. Horizon 5 has a car pass, a VIP pass, an expansion pass, the Ultimate Edition, that's $100. They still do that. And what I didn't understand with Horizon 4 is they did that model, and then eventually started adding cars for free, and great cars for free at that. And then they just suddenly brought that back. They're going to charge for DLC for the first year of Horizon 5. And then not many people are really going to care about the DLC cars anymore because they'll keep just adding updates with the new hottest cars. And the DLC cars will be forgotten. And you know what's weird is, like with Horizon 3, when the game was getting delisted, they put the game and DLC heavily on sale, but in my opinion they should have just made it outright free. Because now you can never get that DLC again unless you already own it. Or you have a modified version of the game. But that's piracy, so I don't know. Huge moral question on that. Another case of the AI slowly catching up again at the very end. But the Viper has held them off pretty well. Prototypes. I mean, there's a big gap on the map compared to the rest of the opponents, but that's just arcade mode for you. Races are kind of boring. This is just for progression and percent. So, there you go. Spicy chips. Nice. Do I like the Mexico location? Yeah, I think it looks beautiful. It will look beautiful. There'll definitely be a lot to explore, and people will learn a lot about the geography around the area. They push towards Game Pass, and you know what that is? You know why? Casual audience. It's not a coincidence, guys. Game Pass is meant for the casual audience to play any game they want and treat it like a Spotify subscription. And it's a great model for that group. Let's actually switch up. Let's drive an A-class car, and since it's a Laguna Seca, I'm actually going to drive the Corvette. Let's drive a black Corvette. But yeah, Game Pass, great deal, great value, but you never own the games. And as someone who collects like video games and prefers the physical versions, I don't really want to do Game Pass. Yeah, it will probably be more expensive, but as this stream proves, I love going back to my old games that I enjoyed and, like, you know, reliving the memories. We're just going to do a big send to first place. That was messy. So yeah, some Lotuses. A lot of Lotuses, actually. 3 of them. TVRs. Yeah, just Lotus and TVRs. This is all British cars at Laguna Seca. And here we are in Corvette. You'd think we get a Viper in here or something, but nope. Or a Mustang. Yeah, I don't really follow A9 that much anymore. I mean, I'm still in the Discord servers and everything, so I still like kind of am sort of aware of what's happening, and I always keep tabs on like what's going on in Asphalt 8, for instance. But man, and Nintendo Switch OLED. I'm paying attention to the chat and not the road, which is not helping me to catch up to the Griffith. Yeah, Nintendo Switch, quote, oh, big Spinola, huge Spinola, massive Spinola for the Tuscan, but he actually doesn't fully wipe out. Uh-oh, Griffith's going off, and he just totally cheeses that corner. So, yeah, the Switch Pro, if you will, got revealed. It's the Switch OLED. And it is the bare minimum of an upgrade for the Switch. I wouldn't even say it's the bare minimum. That's an insult. It's what the first Switch should have had when it came out. but you know what the difference is? It's got a better screen, same battery life, Ethernet adapter, 2 USB ports. Oh man, you gotta get the upgrade for those USB ports. 300, isn't it like $350 for 2 USB ports? No performance upgrade, no exclusive games. Yeah, here's Spinella. Rulu's here. Welcome. Yeah. No game upgrades. No 4K. It's still a 720p screen, by the way. Even though it's OLED, it is 720. $350 for 720. Same Joy-Cons, no enhancement. The charging deck is more modern, I guess. Tuscan does not wipe out that time. Griffith has an off, and let's see if I can get a pass going. I do. Down the straight. Very nice. Yeah, 720p in 2021. Like, dude, Gran Turismo 4 had a better resolution in 2005 than Nintendo Switch, than the Switch's screen. 16 years after GT4 came out, and it still does better than the Switch. So, there you go. You maxed out your McLaren F1LM. Watch it get replaced in the next update. That's like a clear warning that it's on the way out. So, enjoy the car while it's nice. Oh yeah, you got the new kickstand. Woohoo. As if, you know, people didn't already have third-party kickstands and whatnot. Like, who actually plays the Switch on tabletop mode? I want to know. Anyone, any Switch owners here, do you ever play tabletop mode? I get the appeals if you're portable and, like, let's say you're at, like, your grandma's house or something and you brought your Switch. You can play it on the table. Would you ever actually do that? Like, I feel like handheld mode is just more comfortable. You can play it on your bed or your couch or at the table. The only way I could see justifying playing on the kickstand mode is if you're on the go and you need to use the Joy-Cons for something like Mario Odyssey, or if you're playing with friends. But at that point, if you're with your friends, don't you guys have access to a TV? So then just play the Switch docked. So I pretty much only use my Switch in the docks mode on my TV. Sometimes I pop it out to show you guys and I treat it like, you know, a handheld system. The exclusives are great. I give it that. I haven't played Breath of the Wild as much since I was at college, but it is a great game. Mario Odyssey, Smash Bros. Ultimate, great experiences. I don't think Goodwood is going to affect my viewers that much. I don't think I'd get copyright claimed. That'd be funny if I did, though. Kickstand in an airplane? Perhaps, but the Switch has its battery life, like, here's the thing. Hope you have a charger with you. Or an outlet, because that battery's going to drain in 3 hours. Maybe less if you've had it for a while. Griffith just keeps going off. That Tuscan is catching up now. You watch Goodwood instead. My stream will be around. Goodwood only happens once a year. I want to go there. Like, go to the UK and go to the Festival of Speed. I think Lando and Ricardo are there to represent McLaren, actually. That'd be a fun time, though. And I want to travel again. Hopefully, like, everything like gets sorted out in the next year or so. Because I want to go see F1. I want to go see Italy, Maranello, UK, Germany, Just a bunch of Europe. A bunch of other countries. Try the food. The Ford Puma Rally 1 Hybrid. I have not seen it. So last lap, don't mess up the corkscrew. We got the Tuscan right behind. Oh man, he's going for a move. Hold off on that corner. Around the final corner. Imagine a stable Supra. So all the Lotuses finish in the back, TVRs finish in the front. Interesting how the gap spread is. The Tuscan has an i6. Oh, that's a nice little quirk. Good old Supra. Soup. So what is that, like 2 races to go in arcade? Yeah, Rome and Tahiti. A road and a rally. Now Rome would be good for an Italian car. I don't think we have any here that I can use. I don't want to do class C. I think there's an Alfa Romeo in Class C, yes. But it's so slow. I don't want to do 5 laps with it. Do we have an Opel here? Or not Opel, I don't think we have any Italian race cars in the game besides the Zonda. But we do have our GT300 cars that I've not touched in a while. Let's drive the MRS. Let's drive a GT300 car around Rome. Because why not? There's no like series in career mode for the GT300 cars anyway. But I wonder what the opponents are. Rally cars. That makes sense. You wouldn't want to put them against GT500. What's up, Leon? No 22B here. There is the 22B road car in this game. Oh man, the other MRS is giving me problems. This was the only GT PS2 game you ever played. Well, you definitely had a good time, I imagine. I did when I was a kid. Australia Grand Prix has been cancelled. I saw that. Yeah, that's a huge bummer because the rest of the like races so far have gone without that many issues. Yeah, Canada and Singapore got cancelled, but it seems like all the races outside of Europe are having issues. Europe and the Middle East are the only ones who seem to be able to get races going. I hope they could still race in like North America, like the US and Mexico and Brazil. And then also the Japanese Grand Prix is in questions. Australia's on lockdown, yeah. Still a long way to go on the vaccine rollout. And then if it's even effective, there's stuff like the Delta variant and I think the Lambda variant now is a thing. That's a weird corner. Can we full throttle this? Yes. We're kind of running away with this race. The MRS is maybe a bit overpowered. You think this car's ugly? I don't think it's bad. I like the front. The back, yeah, a lot to be desired. But I always liked the out-of-backs livery as a kid. The Arta NSX, one of my favorite cars from racing games. You very know, man. We're all gonna die, aren't we? So, I'd rather have it completed Gran Turismo 3 before that happens. Whoa. Big lift. We're still going. Yeah, it's weird. In Illinois, it's basically back to normal. There's no more, like, capacity limits. Most places don't require a mask now. And, some places I went to, some stores completely just took the sign off, and it's living like it's 2019. And, restaurants are back, but everything price-wise skyrocketed. Price of food, price of stuff. And some restaurants sadly got massive decrease in quality. Some of my favorite restaurants I used to go to as a kid are no longer good. They've gotten too expensive and their quality is, even dine-in is not as good. Yeah, you won't let a virus named after a beer take you down. But if it's named after a Pokemon, then maybe. Yeah, when I got the vaccine, the second shot, I felt tired for one day, but that was pretty much it. I think feeling sick for 2 days of your life is not as bad as getting the virus and then having permanent lung damage or any other side effects that you read that are pretty scary. Yeah, I think most of us really like the racing game genre here. I grew up with it and I've never disliked it. I had brief stints where I played a lot of other games, but in the end you always come back to the comfort food. I'd say Gran Turismo 3 is a comfort food game. You go here to experience good times, and that's exactly what you get. Alright, final corner. Kind of a quiet race. The AI didn't really step up on the last lap. The new Peugeot Le Mans car, yeah, it's gorgeous. Hopefully it does well in competition. Another 7 minutes. The rally cars are way back. Kind of as expected. Let's get those replay shots going. Alright, so one more race in arcade mode, and then we can move on to championships. We're doing another event. I don't know, we could do multitude of championships and stuff. Money won't be that much of an issue in Amateur League. I mean, we'll have to buy stuff, but it could be a lot less strict. Back to rally. I think... Give it the 206. Normally I didn't like this car, and I still don't really love its looks, but I feel like this track is a good, it's a good track for it. We got the Citroen front-wheel drive car. Oh man, look at how much wheel spin he gets. Just because of front-wheel drive. That's just unfair. But yes, 2 French cars in French Polynesia. Yeah, I think racing games go too much for the numbers. They want to have the biggest car list, the best graphics. They want to be the next generation of racing, and it doesn't really... Nobody really strives to make their games fun. They strive to make their games hit check marks and check boxes. They want to get as many sales as possible. You know what's a perfect example is Grid 2019. I remember seeing all the trailers and social media hype that, oh, Grid is back, it's going to be just as good, you can relive it, it's going to be the future of racing. It releases to practically zero fanfare, very average reviews. A couple YouTubers simped over it. And the game has basically lost the time, and you can get it now for like $7 at GameStop. Even though it just came out 2 years ago. That's a game that is soulless. Gran Turismo 2 and 4, in my opinion, are some of the greatest driving games of all time. That's just because of the quality of what Polyphony did to their games. They really wanted to know, you know, all the intricacies of the vehicle. They would, you'd have variants of cars, you know, like, you know, there's always the meme of, oh, there's 20 MX-5s, but really every MX-5 is different, and they went through the cars and modeled each and every one of them. And, they do a great job at that. You'll see the minor differences in cars, and you'll get to like kind of get attached to your vehicles in your garage and really experience it. And one of the favorite things about GT is you make the experience. You make your own experience. You can make the game as hard as you want to be. And I said this before. As a kid, you know, it was awesome to go into a Scudo with 1,800 horsepower. That's right, 1,800 horsepower. And go in, absolutely blitz every competition, and as a kid you think that's awesome. And now when I'm older, it's like, well, yeah, let's do more of a challenge, and I still get different type of enjoyment, but I still really, really enjoy this game. These races are a little dull, but, you know, this is a perfect game to just relax to. I turn my brain off when I'm doing these easy races, and then when we do the harder races, you know, you focus and you try to get good laps in. The license tests are a perfect challenge, so it's a great balance of what you want to do. How are things in America? COVID-wise, they're interesting. I think the CDC just announced like yesterday or a couple days ago that schools do not need to require masks. Like, it's okay for teachers and students to not wear masks if they're vaccinated. So I think that means my old university is going to go fully back to normal. Which, bummer, because I just left it. But, that's just how the way it goes, and everyone's kind of forgetting about it. There are other issues America has that probably don't need to get into, especially in a Gran Turismo video, because this will eventually end up in the VOD. But everyone's getting vaccinated. Everyone that wants a vaccine can get it. We're in that spot. I've been fully vaccinated for over 2 months, and yeah, it's nice. I don't worry as much if I go out and see friends or go out to eat or go to a store. You know, you're just gonna be smart. Be smart about what you do. Don't spit in people's mouths, or, you know, avoid people who are sick. I do not want to get into, do not get into politics, guys. Just letting you guys know, fair warning. Cut the politics talk off right now, so. Puto 206 on Tahiti. That's right, Snowtato. But maybe it's not in my, I'm not in that sort of position to debate that sort of stuff. I don't know, I feel like that's just natural of social media to kind of create bubbles and echo chambers and witch hunting, and you guys know what I'm talking about. But I don't think nobody ever comes out of political discussions satisfied. Nobody does. So let's just drop it and talk about, we just completed the race. Pretty easy win. Let's wait for the Citroen to finish. Am I planning for F1 2021? I don't know. I don't know if I want to get it. It looks good. I just don't trust EA to get it right. So we don't get a prize car for clearing Area B, but we do get more areas that we'll come back to eventually. And just to verify, we have cleared the area, so now there's 6 more tracks that we will explore later on. This one's going to be very interesting. I wonder if I'll get a wheelie car by then. Isla discussion. It all comes back to Isla. Or, you know what? I didn't mean to do that. Let's go right back into arcade mode and verify that we've gotten everything. The arcade car unlock are technically prize cars, yes. Let's do that. But yeah, just to double check. Area B, totally done. Let me peek at what prize cars we do have available. Well, not prize cars, but you know what I mean. Class C, nothing. Class B. Audi TT, that's new. Anything in A? Nope. Anything in S? I think that was there already. And I don't think you get any rally unlocks. Oh, the Lancia Delta. we have the Lancia Delta here. So, cool. We'll eventually use that. Alright then. Well, that is the end of the segment. Let's just go to our progress to kind of see where that jumped us up. $25.1%. Already a quarter of the way through, and we're 12 hours in, so pretty nice. And that's the segment.